Well, good day. If you're new here, we are looking at the Gospel Project Unit 21 today. We're going to do a little bit of review. I apologize if there's noise in the background. I am working from home and my kids are actively around me, so we'll get through it though. So we're going to be looking firstly just at a little bit of review on how to access the kids church or kids ministry materials that we have. Now, this is intended to be used from preschool all the way up to grade 6, and I'm sure that you parents who are using it will also benefit and learn from it just as I do every week that I go through it. So, how to access the material that's intended for your equipping. First, it's through our newsletters. So if you haven't signed up for newsletters, it may make it easier to navigate this if you do that. If you call the office and sign up for our newsletter. It's also a great way for Web to keep in touch with you. So please consider that if you haven't. The next thing that you can do if you don't want to do that is you can call the office and you can ask them for the password on how to equip this, because it is on our website, westedbaptist.com. Now, before we get into the lesson, I'm just going to navigate that as we are here together, and I'll just type in West Ed Baptist. And as you can see, I can't multitask. I can't type and speak at the same time. So when you do that, you're going to see this link right here, West Ed Baptist uh, Church and COVID-19, and click here for more information on Web's response and ministries, etc. So you click on that, and you're going to see some ministries such as Food Bank. You're going to see sermons. You're also going to see updates, and you are going to see down here, click here to access Web Kids Church at Home. So that's where it is on our website. Now you'll notice there's a password. You can call the office for the password, or you can email them, because this is it's a curriculum that we paid for, and we don't just have the right to make it available for everyone on the internet. So you'll have to call in or email in or look at the newsletters for the password. It's included in there. So that's how you can access the actual content and download what you choose to download. Okay, so now that we've covered how to access it, the idea behind this is to equip you parents to really walk out Deuteronomy 6, 4 to 9. That whole thing of loving the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and strength, and walking with your kids, teaching them, talking about them along the way as we do life, especially now. We are experiencing that in a deeper way than we have probably ever before, and it's even more important. And another thing that I'm going to highlight is that passage teaches us that that is the outflow of loving God. It's one outflow of loving God. As we love Him, we do that with our kids, and that's a command, but it's also an expression of love for God. So as you consider that and pray about that, um, yeah, I think that it will just hopefully do what it's done for me and just fill you with motivation and excitement to do something that maybe you've never done with your kids, or maybe you've never had success doing it with your kids. So, yeah, that's just one thing to consider, is that this is equipping us. The intent is to equip us to do that, and it's an expression of love for God. The other thing is that we want to keep pace if we can with our curriculum, so that whenever we do meet together again, that we don't have a big gap in our curriculum. As you'll see, one of the things this curriculum does really well is it lays a really great foundation for understanding the big story of the Bible, even through all of the little stories, showing how they're connected, weaving this tapestry that shows God's grand design, His salvation story throughout the Bible. So I can't say enough about that, and I'm sure that that you'll see that too. So this video is a general orientation for the whole of Unit 21. Up to this point, we've done individual lessons, videos on lessons, but I think that we're at a point now where we can preview the whole unit, and then that'll equip you to carry out the individual lessons. So before we get into that, there's just one more thing that we'll touch on. The previous unit was Unit 20. So and the one before that obviously was Unit 19. Unit 19 was Into the World. That was kind of the unit theme. And it answered the question, was Jesus God or human? And the answer that we learned is that as the Son of God, Jesus was both fully God and fully human. And we saw this through studying Jesus' family tree, his birth narrative, his dedication, and his boyhood temple experience. Unit 20 the theme was prepare the way. So we moved from Jesus entering the world and his childhood to prepare the way. This is the whole arc or mini arc of Jesus having the way prepared and participating in preparing the way for his public ministry. And it answers the question, why did Jesus have to become human? And the answer that we learned is Jesus became human to obey his Father's plan and rescue sinners. And we saw that through Jesus' baptism, his temptation, shortly after, John pointing to Jesus as the Messiah, and the calling of the disciples. So this was a period where Jesus was preparing for his public ministry and about to enter it. And there was some great stuff there. Unit 21 moves forward, and as I said at the beginning of the orientation, the whole unit has 4 sessions, and this unit is it's going to be a great unit. It's all about Jesus' ministry among the people, and you can see the unit description, which connects up to the title, Among the People, and you can see the key passage. You can see the big picture question, what makes people so special? We've seen all this great stuff about Jesus entering the world, becoming a human, that at one point he was just fully God, but then he became man, and that's a mind-blowing thing. What makes people so special? And it's really addressed in this unit as Jesus heals people and does miracles and reaches out to people that nobody would reach out to. And what makes people so special that God would do that? And it's a wonderful answer. It's a very, very biblical answer. People are special because we're made in God's image, male and female, to know him. And this is it's such a concise and excellent answer. And it's shown in the story point of each lesson. Each lesson builds a foundation towards this big picture question and answer. So that's the arc. This is the unit overview, and you could theoretically take this unit overview and you could teach the whole unit with nothing but the unit overview and your Bible, and you'd have all you need to teach just a great foundation about Jesus, the start of Jesus' ministry. And so I really like what they've done with this, and I hope that you use it and really think through all of the sessions and try and connect them with the big picture question and answer, as well as the theme of the unit, because it'll really give you a cohesive it'll just really bond all of these sessions together. So please take a look at that, use that, and the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to move into the actual session that I've prepared. Now, one thing you'll want to keep in mind is this video is being created slightly before they release stuff, the additional like teaching materials on their website, which we will also take a look at, but this video is being created before that. So when you view it week by week, it'll be right where we're at with our calendar dates. But right now in the video, we're further ahead. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so the next thing is I'm going to take a look at the lesson that I've made. Sorry, I'll just move it into view here. And every unit, or sorry, every lesson is going to be laid out the same way. I always include the same elements in every lesson. We have the leader Bible study. This is fantastic. It really can minister to you as the leader as you read through it, as you look at the passages and some of the cross references, and help to build a larger context to teach from. So definitely use that, pray through that. I always include the timeline next. The timeline, this was unit 19, 20, we're moving to 21. The kids should recognize these pictures. All of these posters are available through the website, and I believe they're also, so westedbaptistchurch.com. They're also available, I believe, on the Gospel Project website. So you can, at minimum, you can get them out from our website. And so this is the review section. I always have that in there kind of as the first thing we do. And I always try and link it back. So this question here, was Jesus God or human, right? It links back to this. And you have Jesus' genealogy. You have the prophecy of John the Baptist preparing the way. You have, yeah, you can take a look at those if you wish, but the timeline pictures should help the kids think of individual stories and map them out in their own understanding to the themes. This one here is for unit 20, so this is unit 20, and these are the stories that we just finished off in unit 20. And unit 21 are these stories here. The big picture question and answer are next. Once you're done your review, we move on to the current lessons, big picture question and answer. What makes people so special? That's the current question in our current unit. So people are special because we are made in God's image, male and female, to know Him. So you can talk a little bit about that if that triggers some other verses for you, such as God creating mankind male and female in Genesis. What does it mean to be created in God's image? To know Him, what does it mean to know God? Those are all some good things that you can think through and pray through, and draw on your biblical knowledge, as well as other articles that you may choose to read. And there are some on the Gospel Project's website as well. So Jesus, the next thing that we're going to look through is the Bible story video. I usually use this because it helps introduce the story to the kids, and it kind of prepares them. It just gives them a preview about what they're going to learn in the Bible story, and it's visual, and kids connect with it. It's usually about a 3-minute video. There's next we have the Bible story. So I usually just read it from the Bible because I think it's important for kids to see us reading from our Bibles, and but I also included their narrative that they have put together from that passage, which is usually pretty close. But again, I just think there's value in actually reading from our Bibles when we're teaching. So you'll have to look ahead and choose which portions you're going to read from. And then there's the Christ connection down here. Jesus' miracles prove that He was the Messiah and that He's the Son of God. This ties back to other lessons. They've been hearing that language, that as the Son of God, Jesus was both fully human and fully God. So it strengthened people's faith, met their needs, and it builds on why are people so special, because we're made in God's image. And then there's the lesson review. So there's some questions here. You can pick and choose if you like. These will all be relative to how old your kids are. And there's the memory verse. So if you use these elements kind of time after time, I think that you can meaningfully fill up at minimum, half an hour with this, and the kids won't. In my experience, the time flies because you're moving on relatively quickly to fit all of this in, but it's still meaningful. And so just a quick review. Prepare with the Leader Bible Study. then you'll navigate the timeline. So that's the first part of the lesson, big picture question and answer, the actual Bible story, and then the review and the memory verse. So there's like 4 elements there really, that are pretty easy to navigate. And once you start thinking through the lessons like that, they become really, really easy to prepare for and to navigate. And so I hope you enjoy this unit. If you have any feedback, please feel free to comment. Please also feel free to look me up in the directory and call me, give me feedback. There is age-specific material on the website that I haven't talked about, such as activities. There is a questions from kids, which always leaves you with a challenging question as well after that. After you watch the questions from kids, that just consists of a child's question, and it gets answered, but then it leaves that child with a question, with another question to answer or to think about. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this unit and take full advantage of everything on their website. Before I leave, I'm going to go to gospelproject.com again, and I'm going to point out one additional thing. So when you go to the leader resources, you're going to see the additional resources here. This is how you navigate to it. I'm going to have to shrink this down because it's not fitting in the window. But basically, we are in this set. All they have available, as I said, they update this weekly. The current week is still the last. Yeah, this is where we are in the current time frame. But it'll get updated week by week. So what you're going to want to look at on their website is you're going to want to look at Volume 7 Leader Training Blog. Okay, you're also going to want to look for a little further down. You're going to look at unit overviews. So they have the unit overview for here. Kids unit overview, preschool unit overview. It's phrased in different ways. The unit overview is pretty much the same, but it's phrased in ways that younger and older kids would understand, in preschool as well. So then Unit 20, again, you're going to see the unit overview for Unit 20, and then down here it's 21. So this is where you want to be with your unit overview. This is the one you want to take a look at. That's the unit we're in. And you're also going to see, if I expand this a little bit more, you're going to see up at the top, you're going to see recent posts. Recent posts is always interesting. This is a free book that they have. This is just some weekly training. Again, it's the current week is Unit 20, Session 4. Jesus calls the disciples. So there's a podcast there that you can listen to. They're typically pretty good. You're going to see some more training here, and you're going to see why did Jesus talk about fishing for the people. So this is just kind of, this is above and beyond. This is extra, but it is really good and pretty interesting. So be sure to look at the recent posts and use those if they are relevant for you. So thank you. Last time I'll say thank you for watching this video, and yeah, feedback is very much welcome.